Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Quis, host of Sports Vibes TV, and I'm coming at you with another Giants video. If you're into Giants videos, you know what to do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon, that way you're notified whenever I drop a new video. So with that being said, let's get into it. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Giants and the cuts that they made to their 53-man roster. Right now, I have 4 players that I am happy or am going to be focused on throughout the season to see how they end up performing. And then there's 4 other players that some of you might have been shocked didn't actually make the team. And then make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video, because I actually have the 16 players that did end up on the practice squad. So when it comes to the Giants bubble players that I am going to be focused on or paying attention to now that the season's about to be underway, the first person is going to be CJ Board. CJ Board, I made a video. I'm going to link it up top. If you guys want to check that out, I got into a little bit more of his story and his skills and what he is going to be doing inside Jason Garrett's offense. And CJ Board, he was originally on the Jaguars. They cut him, and we ended up picking him up. And he's been a camp standout so far. So he made the list of some of the players that we should be looking at. Right now, he's probably 5th on the depth chart. So he's going to be behind Shepard. He's going to be behind Tate. He's going to be behind Slayton. He's probably even going to be behind Corey Coleman, who is coming back off an ACL injury himself, but has looked good. So he's going to be a person to look at, because from the film that I've seen that's been on social media, he looks good. He's shown speed, and he's shown that he's a big-bodied receiver that can go up and get the ball. So that's something that we should all be paying attention to. The next player is going to be Devante Adams. He's another camp standout and another player that we are or should be looking at, because what he ended up doing is he ended up taking up another roster spot from a player that I'm going to touch on a little bit later. So Devante Adams, he was originally, if I'm not mistaken, on the Vikings. He came into the league in 2017, and he's been making some waves in camp, and it's going to be interesting to see how he looks. He may get some, who knows, he may even get some starts if he is going to be performing as well as he did in practice. He's probably going to be a integral part of the actual linebacker rotation. And if not, worst case scenario, I'm pretty sure Joe Judge sees something in him, and he's going to be a key contributor on special teams. So that's the worst case, best case scenario. And the next player is going to be Wayne Gallman. I'm kind of shocked he made the team, because when I was researching and looking at some of the film and some of the reviews of what the players were doing in camp, Wayne Gallman wasn't exactly getting glory or glorifying or exalting reviews. He is, what is he, in his 3rd or 4th year, if I'm not mistaken, and he's a holdover. So I'm kind of shocked that, this new coaching staff didn't decide that they were going to clear house and, move some of the players that were brought in under the old regime or the previous regime. So Wayne Gallman is another player to look. If he struggles, I would not be shocked if the Giants ended up cutting him. And the last player, I got my mic in the way I can't even see, B.J. Hill, defensive tackle. B.J. Hill is another player that's been confusing, because he was good his first year, his rookie year. If I'm not mistaken, he had 4.5 sacks. But last year, the defensive lineman position kind of got, muddled with the addition of Leonard Williams, and we had Dexter Lawrence, we brought him in, and we already had Tomlinson. So B.J. Hill really didn't get to stand out last season, and it looks like he's keeping that same energy in this preseason, because he has not looked good at all, and a lot of people were speculating he may have ended up getting cut. So I wouldn't be shocked if you see a BJ Hill move down the line as well. So now we're gonna go to the players that ended up being cut. And number 1 on the list is Ryan Connelly. I was actually looking forward to see how he was gonna come back and return from that ACL injury he suffered last year, because he was doing his thing last year. I know PFF didn't really grade him that high, but from the eye test, it looked like he was doing what he had to do at that middle linebacker position. And now we have a new coaching system, new coaching system and a new coaching staff coached up by Patrick Graham, and it seems like Ryan Connelly wasn't exactly the fit they were looking for. And Devante Adams pretty much took his roster spot, even with Mayo being injured. So And I also heard that he just recently got picked up by the Vikings. He was signed off waivers. So there is no chance of really him coming back at this point. He's gone for good. And, best of luck to him. Like I said before, I was looking forward to his comeback story, but it's going to be told by another team. And the next player is John Jalapio, who we literally just signed a few days ago. He was coming back off of a debilitating injury. And to me, I didn't want him touching the center position, period. So I didn't even know why they wasted time putting the pen on paper if they were just going to cut him a few days later. But I'm glad he's not going to be starting at center. We have a few other options that we've been trying out in, the preseason. So luckily, hopefully, the players that we have in-house can hold that down. And then the next player is going to be Grant Haley. He got cut. He has been inconsistent since he was drafted a couple of years ago, or if I'm not mistaken, last year. And, I thought he might have been able to stay and hold on to his position. But it looks like, we had some young cornerbacks, whether it be Ballantyne, whether it's been Love, who's been splitting time at the slot position, where Grant Haley got a lot of reps. We brought in Logan Ryan. And Grant Haley, there really was Darnay Holmes. Don't forget we drafted him in the 4th round. So there really wasn't much space for Grant Haley, and, he got sent sailing. And the last person is Alex Tanney, who was another holdout who somehow always maintained the job. I wish I was a backup quarterback, because Alex Tanney made a whole career out of it. God bless him. But, now he may be moving on to retirement, and I hope him nothing but the best in all his remaining endeavors. So now with that being said, I told you some of the key players that either got cut or made the team. Now I'm going to show you the full practice squad. So on offense, they have Cooper Rush, who came over from the Cowboys with Jason Garrett, who's familiar with his offense. He hasn't shown much in the NFL, so I understand why they didn't want to necessarily keep him as the primary backup to Daniel Jones. So I see why they would have moved him and put him on the practice squad. And then at wide receiver, you have Alex Bachman, Derek Dillon, Johnny Holton, and Austin Mack. Those are all wide receivers. Austin Mack was also making some waves in camp, so I'm not surprised that they added him to the practice squad just to make sure they can keep him and he can stay within the system. And at offensive line, they added Tyler Haycraft, Kyle Murphy, and Carson Tinker. And on defense, they had defensive lineman Nico Lalos. You guys can correct me in the comments how to pronounce that. You can do it like Wikipedia. And then cornerback Ryan Lewis, Jaron Williams, Johnny Holton, and Austin Mack. Oh, you see what happened? There were 2 Macks that got cut. So what I'll do is I'll make sure I'll edit over that before I post it. And then that's special teams and kicker, you have Ryan Santoso. And pretty much these were all the cuts made by the Giants. Not cuts. These were all the practice squad players that were brought in by the Giants. And these are going to be players that might actually see some time because, who knows if a player tests positive, this is where they're going to be pulling players. I highly doubt they're going to, unless there's somebody out there that's available, I highly doubt they're going to be reaching into the free agent pool. God forbid one of these players catches the Rona. They're probably just going to try to move in some new bodies from their practice squad. As you see, they have a bunch of offensive linemen, they have a bunch of wide receivers, and they have a bunch of cornerbacks. And those are positions where you kind of need a lot of bodies. God forbid anybody were to go down. And I'm also going to make sure I work on a video that talks about the actual 53-man roster. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button, drop your comments, tell me what you think. Were you surprised about Ryan Connelly getting cut? Because I know I was, and I know a few other YouTubers out here were shocked as well. That was like a haymaker. I was like, Ryan Connelly, God, damn. So with that being said, Quis, this is Sports Vibes TV, and I'm out.